couple things here first. Can you hear me with this? I got this thing. We good? All right.
And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornelick.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And we are live from Hockey Fest 2011. Hockey season about to kick back into gear. Kalazewski?
You know, this is a great time of year. You know, this is sort of the unofficial start of the season, really. This is the third annual Hockey Fest. Excited to be here. A lot of exciting events. We're going to go ahead and check out the Dean Lombardi State of the Kings, check out the Q&A with the kids, which is always a fantastic event. And also, you know, talk to some fans and interview a bunch of players.
There we go, episode 121. Let's get it started. So each year, Dean Lombardi, like President Obama, gives his State of the Union, State of the Los Angeles Kings. This year, you know, not a lot to report. Ilya Kovalchuk's still not a Los Angeles King, and neither is Drew Doughty.
Yeah, you know, he started off, obviously, with that, just to get that out of the way. That's obviously the big elephant in the room when it comes to the Kings hockey right now. Kings fans are still waiting, but he definitely had some interesting takes, and also, of course, in Kings fan tradition, there's some interesting questions out there from the crowd.
So here we go, take a little bit of a look.
You're dealing with a 21-year-old at this stage, and I think, you know, we're all getting in tune to what sports and all the things that are involved. There are so many peripheral issues that, you know, can boggle the mind of a 21-year-old. And I think there's no question in my mind this kid is one heck of a player. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. He's got a lot to learn. No question if he's going to be, you know, where we hope to be as far as Ray Borg. But there's no question in my mind about this kid's heart, and that, you know, he wants to be a great player. And he's 21 years old now, and he's got a lot of things coming at him. But we're going to get through this. He's going to be here a long time, and this is just a bump in the road. But in the meantime, like I said, I can assure you those guys in that room are going to know this. There's no question this owner's committed to winning.
All right, Kings fans, so one of our favorite Hockey Fest events is the Q&A with a panel of Kings players, always with Matt Green, where young children get to ask sort of heartfelt questions, which I think is the most entertaining event. I mean, these kids ask some hilarious things.
Good question.
Halloween costume.
Clifford, what was yours last year?
Who roasted honey?
Hey!
I was the sheriff. Makes sense. I was, I think, first grade. My mother dressed me up as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I put on a sweatshirt, and then she blew up balloons, put them in my arms, and had the haircut going and everything. So, probably my favorite.
I was always a little partial to Superman myself. Red cape, tight tights. Yeah. Really awesome.
I was the same dinosaur 4 years in a row.
What kind of dinosaur?
I think it was a Stegosaurus. I love that costume. I'd still wear it if it fit.
So we were in the Chick Hearn press room, got a chance to talk to a few players, well, most of the good ones, really. And we'll have that for you right now, as well as in future episodes. Take a look at a little bit of what we got.
You know, it's kind of progressed. I mean, when I first got drafted, I remember my first thought was like, I didn't even know, like, I grew up watching Gretzky and stuff, but you didn't know what type of hockey market this would be. And as we've, over the last few years, become a better team, you start to see subtle changes, both in the fan base, but also really since I've been here. I mean, the organization has always been first class. I think a lot of things have been said in the media or whatnot, but this organization's a hockey first mentality, and they're committed to winning. And we're starting to do the right steps. It's starting to be a place players are enjoying playing. I mean, talking to other players, it's, you know, they've played in other organizations. They come and see our setup. They come and see everything that we have, and it's one of those things where we're starting to get that rep. Is this is the team you want to play for? You know, there's plenty of teams that haven't. There's, you know, the same amount of teams that, you know, teams don't want to go to play for. And the more we can build that, the better it's going to be for this organization. I mean, I've known Mr. Anschutz since I was drafted. I mean, being 18, not knowing at the time, I get a phone call from Phil Anschutz saying, "We're really glad that you're a King." That was my, and like I said, I was 18. I didn't know. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't have any idea. And he called me, and then it dawned on me maybe a couple months later when I was in camp, and they're like going over, and I found out who he was. I was like, I mean, this guy could be how successful he is. Just pick up a phone call and call, me, which kind of made an impact on me. And then I've had the chance to, know him personally. I mean, there's been times when he's been in here with his, he's very private. He's walked by 10, 15 guys, and guys have no idea who he is. And, he's always made a point to maybe be private, but at the same time let us know that he's supporting us. And he was one of those guys where he'd be very, very intense on the ice. He'd get mad. He'd get mad at you if you didn't give him the puck. But the second the game was over, it was like nothing had ever happened. And you want to go for a beer, or you want to let's go do something. He was a happy-go-lucky guy, and that was one. Like, I've had this question, since the last week or so, and it's. I only played with him for maybe a couple years, and I played on the line with him for maybe 50 games. I don't know. And the one thing, he was always having fun, but at the same time, he loved the game of hockey.
There's a lot of similarities. I think we're a little deeper down the middle collectively. Nothing against Andy McDonald, but I think Richards and Kopitar, I like Kopitar to a guy like Getz. They play similar games, but I think our D, we're a younger team, but there's a lot of similarities. Even with playoffs last year, where we should have had a better fate against San Jose. Lost, I think, 4 games or 3 games in overtime, and I think we're poised to make a big splash this year. Better than I ever have. I think I've gained muscle mass, and that's probably from doing 2,000 yards of lunges every day in the summer. So it's there's a lot more focus on, I think, strength and flexibility as a combination, as opposed to just strength and things like that. And I learned a lot about how these guys work and how they work out in the summer. I was used to the type and not the volume. Getting here at 8 and leaving at 2. Usually some workouts start around 9:30. It was a different mentality here, and you get used to it. We're all creatures of habit, and after the first month, it was fine.
No, I actually haven't talked to Drew. I've sent a few text messages here and there, but nothing major. I mean, it is what it is, and it's none of my business. And I'm sure they're going to work it out. It's tough. I mean, it seems like this summer has been all pretty much negative or tragic, so it's I think everybody's itching to get the season going so we can start talking about something else, not just the tragic stuff. And it's tough, and obviously the families are devastated now. And
all right, Kings fans, we'll be right back at you right around preseason to do a little preview of the Los Angeles Kings. Camp is just about set to open. Hopefully, Drew Doughty will be a King here in the next, few days or so. So stay tuned. We'll be back at you with more interviews from Hockey Fest. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
Thanks for watching Overtime by KingsCast.